Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something powerful, something essential, something that can transform the way we walk through the world. That thing is knowing your worth. Now, I know it's easy to get caught up in the noise of everyday life. We're told by society, by the media, by the opinions of others who we should be, what we should value and how we should value, and how we should measure ourselves. But let me tell you, this true power comes when you realize that your worth does not depend on any of that. It comes from within. A woman who knows her worth understands this. She recognizes that her value is not something that can be quantified by external measures, whether it's appearance, success, or approval from others. Her worth is intrinsic, something she carries with her in everything she does. And with that understanding comes a deep sense of self-acceptance. She doesn't need to be perfect. She doesn't need to conform to anyone's expectations because she accepts both her strengths and her flaws. She knows that to be whole, to be human, is to experience both triumphs and struggles, but through it all, she remains steadfast in who she is. It's not easy though. We all face moments of doubt. We all encounter challenges that seem insurmountable. But a woman who knows her worth is resilient. She doesn't shy away from hardship because she knows that adversity is not a roadblock, it's an opportunity to grow, to become stronger. She doesn't break when the world throws punches. No, she adjusts, she learns, she overcomes. And what makes her even more powerful is that she doesn't keep her light to herself. She shares it. She empowers others to realize their own worth, to understand their potential. When you know your worth, lifting others is a natural extension. You inspire, not by what you say, but by who you are and what you do. Your strength makes the world stronger. A woman who knows her worth does not rely on the approval of others to validate her existence. She doesn't need a standing ovation or a well done to continue moving forward. She knows her purpose, she trusts her journey, and she knows that true fulfillment comes from within. And perhaps one of the most beautiful things is that she makes choices based on her own values. She doesn't wait for permission, doesn't look for approval. She steps into her destiny, unfazed by what others might think. She charts her own path with the full understanding that she is capable of anything. So, I leave you with this: knowing your worth is not something you achieve in a moment, it's a lifelong journey. Every day you step closer to fully embracing who you are, what you are capable of, and all that you can give to the world. A woman who knows her worth is always evolving, she's always learning, she's always growing, and in doing so she becomes an unstoppable force. Thank you. Let me start by asking you something that might sound simple, but it's profound. Do you truly know who you are? I'm not talking about your job, your role, or the titles you carry. I'm talking about the essence of who you are. At your core, the unique qualities that make you you. Because when you understand this, when you truly recognize the power that lies within you, everything shifts. You see, there's an undeniable strength that comes from knowing yourself, knowing your values, your boundaries, your dreams, your scars. This is not just about being aware of what you're capable of. It's about knowing your worth irrespective of the noise around you. It's about stepping into a space where you don't need anyone's approval to feel whole. You stand firm because you know the foundation of who you are is unshakable. Too often we look for external validation to tell us we're enough. We seek approval from others to confirm that we matter, but here's the truth: none of that matters until you realize that your worth isn't something to be earned or granted. It's something that's already yours. It's within you, just waiting to be recognized, to be embraced. When you understand this power, you become unstoppable. You no longer seek permission or wait for someone to tell you it's okay to go after your dreams. You don't hesitate when the world tells you no. You don't shrink when the doubts start creeping in. Instead, you stand tall, rooted in the knowledge of who you are. And from that place, everything else follows. Knowing yourself means you have access to a strength that is unshakable, because it comes from a deeper place than any external circumstance. It's a knowing that runs so deep that no matter what challenges you face, you will never doubt your ability to rise above them. Because when you know your worth, the only opinion that matters is your own. Understanding your value is not something that can be handed to you. It's not something you can buy, earn, or ask for. It's something that has to be discovered, nurtured, and above all, owned. When you understand your value, you stop looking to the outside world for confirmation of your worth. You stop measuring yourself against others and their standards. You begin to see yourself as you truly are, whole, complete, and irreplaceable. We often spend so much time looking at what we lack, what we haven't achieved yet, or what someone else has that we don't. But here's the truth: your worth has nothing to do with your achievements or what others perceive as success. It isn't tied to your job title, the number of followers you have, or the compliments others give you. Your value is not something that can be quantified because it is immeasurable. You are valuable because of the unique person you are. Your experiences, your dreams, your way of seeing the world, those things cannot be replicated. There is no one else who can offer what you bring to the table. And once you realize that, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start creating from a place of deep confidence. You stop doubting yourself because you recognize that you are already enough just as you are. The world might try to tell you that your worth depends on what you do or how you look, but don't let that noise drown out the truth that is within you. Your worth is in your spirit, in your resilience, and in your capacity to love and grow. When you understand this, you become free. You no longer need permission to be who you are. You no longer seek external approval because you already know deep down that you are valuable, worthy, and deserving of everything life has to offer. Knowing your worth isn't arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about understanding that you are just as deserving as anyone else. It's about recognizing that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. When you understand your value, you stand tall, not out of pride, but out of deep, unshakable knowing. And when you walk through the world with that kind of strength, you become a force to be reckoned with. Not because of what you do, but because of what you do, but because of who you are. Self-acceptance is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, all the dreams, all the achievements, and all the external validation in the world will never be enough to fill the void. True power comes from being at peace with who you are right now as you are. Not when you've reached the next milestone, not when you've checked off every box on someone else's list, but in this very moment. When you accept yourself, you stop waiting for permission to be fully you. You stop pretending to be someone you're not, just to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. You understand that your flaws, your quirks, and even your mistakes are part of your story. They do not define you, they shape you. And it is this acceptance of your complete self, the beautiful, the broken, and everything in between, that gives you the power to move forward with confidence. Imagine the freedom that comes when you no longer feel the need to apologize for being yourself. You no longer shrink when someone judges you or questions your path. Instead, you stand tall, grounded in the truth that you are enough, exactly as you are. This isn't a one-time decision. It's a continuous process, a practice of choosing to love and accept yourself, no matter what the world throws at you. And as you do this, you create space for growth, for transformation. Because when you truly accept yourself, you give yourself the grace to evolve, to make mistakes, and to rise above them without the weight of self-criticism. Self-acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean you stop striving for improvement or growth. It means you are kind to yourself even on the days when you fall short. You learn to embrace your imperfections, knowing they are part of what makes you human. You give yourself permission to not have all the answers, to not be perfect. You allow yourself to be a work in progress, and that in itself is a beautiful thing. When you accept yourself fully, something incredible happens. You stop living for the approval of others. You no longer seek validation in the form of likes, compliments, or praise. You no longer let the opinions of others dictate how you feel about yourself. Instead, you begin to create from a place of authenticity, from a place of true self-love. Your actions, your decisions, your relationships, they all come from the deep well of self-acceptance. And when you live this way, you radiate a strength that others can't help but notice. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. And that, my friends, is the most powerful thing you can be. Resilience is not something that comes naturally to most of us. It's not a trait we're born with, but a strength we cultivate over time. It's built in the moments when life knocks us down, when the path we're walking gets steeper, when we feel like giving up is the easier choice. But here's the truth: resilience is not about never falling. It's about rising each time we do. When adversity strikes, and it will for every one of us, it doesn't define us unless we let it. It's easy to look at a challenge and think it's the end of the road. But a woman who knows her worth knows that adversity is not a sign of weakness, it's an opportunity to show just how strong she truly is. It's in those moments of difficulty that she digs deep into herself, finding reserves of strength and courage she didn't even know existed. And with each hurdle, she gets stronger, more confident, more capable. Adversity, while painful, has a way of refining us. It strips us down to our core, forcing us to confront our limits and weaknesses. But when you understand your worth, when you truly accept yourself, those challenges no longer hold the same power over you. They become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. You stop seeing failure as something to fear, and instead you see it as part of the process, a necessary step toward growth, a lesson in how to keep moving forward. Every time life knocks you down, it's not a defeat. It's a chance to rise higher. It's a chance to test your limits, to push past the fear, to keep moving even when the way seems unclear. Because resilience is not about staying the same, it's about adapting, adjusting, and coming back stronger than before. It's about holding on to the belief that no matter how hard things get, you are capable of overcoming them. You are more powerful than any challenge because you are the one who decides how to respond. This is the strength of a woman who knows her worth. She does not crumble under pressure. She doesn't let adversity determine her value or her future. She meets life's hardest moments with a quiet, unshakable knowing that she's capable of handling whatever comes her way. She is resilient, not because life is easy, but because she has learned to trust herself, to trust that she can always rise again, stronger and wiser than before. And that, my friends, is a power that no one and nothing can take away. When you know your own worth, something incredible happens. You begin to see the worth in others as well. It's like a ripple effect spreading outward from within you. A woman who understands her value doesn't keep it to herself. She shares it. She lifts others. She empowers them to see their own greatness. She knows that there is enough room for all of us to rise, and by helping others rise, she too becomes stronger. The most powerful thing we can do for one another is to recognize the light in others, especially when they may not see it themselves. To look at someone and say, "I see you. I see your potential, your strength, your unique beauty." It costs nothing, but it can change everything for someone who is struggling to believe in themselves. A woman who knows her worth understands that her power isn't diminished by helping others, it's amplified. By encouraging someone else to believe in their worth, to step into their greatness, she creates a network of strength and support that is unbreakable. Empowering others is not about trying to control or mold them into something they're not. It's about showing them what they are capable of. It's about walking beside them as they discover their own strength. A woman who knows her worth is not threatened by the success or confidence of others. She knows that there is no competition for worth. Everyone's light shines in its own way, and by nurturing the light in others, we all shine brighter. And it's not just about words. Empowerment comes through actions, through the way we show up for others, through the way we make space for them to be heard, through the way we offer support, love, and kindness without expecting anything in return. When you see the potential in others, when you help them find their voice, you're not just changing their world, you're changing your own. The more you give, the more you receive, and it becomes a cycle of empowerment that creates a ripple effect far beyond what you can see. A woman who knows her worth realizes that her success is not defined by how much she can accomplish on her own, but by how many others she can help succeed alongside her. It's in the shared victories, the growth, the shared moments of encouragement that we find the true power of community. When we empower others, we create a world where everyone feels seen, valued, and capable of achieving their dreams. By offering your belief in someone, by seeing their potential before they do, you give them the gift of confidence, of self-belief, of hope. You plant seeds that may take years to fully bloom, but the impact lasts a lifetime. And when we all step into that power, when we all know our worth and empower each other, we create a world that is more compassionate, more supportive, and more resilient. a world where no one has to walk alone. There comes a point in every journey where you have to decide, will you allow doubt and the need for validation to dictate your path, or will you trust yourself enough to walk confidently even when the world is uncertain? A woman who knows her worth understands that external validation is fleeting. It's easy to look for reassurance in others, to wait for someone to tell us we're doing things right, to crave praise and approval. But here's the truth: no amount of external validation will ever be enough if you don't believe in yourself first. Doubt will always try to creep in. It's that little voice in the back of your mind that asks, are you sure you're capable? Are you sure you're enough? It tries to convince you that you're not worthy of the success, love, or dreams you're working toward. But a woman who knows her worth refuses to let that voice control her narrative. She doesn't rely on external opinions to define her or guide her decisions. She knows that while others may judge, critique, or question her, their opinions are not a reflection of her value. When you know your worth, you stop seeking constant reassurance from others. You no longer need to prove yourself because you understand that your value is inherent, not earned. You stop measuring your success by the applause of others, and instead you measure it by your own sense of fulfillment and growth. Validation from others might feel good for a moment, but it's empty if it doesn't align with your truth. In the end, knowing your worth is a journey, one that unfolds with every challenge you face, every step you take, and every lesson you learn. It's not about perfection, it's about embracing who you are and becoming the best version of yourself, day by day. When you truly understand your value, you begin to live with a quiet confidence that doesn't need to shout to be heard. You stand tall, not because you are without flaws, but because you have made peace with them, knowing they are part of what makes you unique. So I urge you to remember this: you are enough just as you are. Your worth is not for anyone to give or take away. It's yours to define, to embrace, and to celebrate. Keep believing in yourself even when the world makes it hard. Keep walking your path with unwavering confidence, knowing that you have the power to create, to rise, and to shine no matter the obstacles. And as you do, remember that the more you step into your own power, the more you inspire others to do the same. This is how we change the world, not with loud declarations, but with the quiet strength of knowing who we are and what we are capable of. Thank you. Empowering others is more than just a concept or a feel-good idea. It's a call to action, a commitment to lifting each other up and unlocking the potential that lies within every individual. Every person has the ability to make a difference, not only in their own lives, but in the lives of others. And when we recognize and nurture that potential, we begin to create a ripple effect that extends far beyond our own reach. Think about the moments in your life when someone believed in you, when they saw something in you that you couldn't see yourself. Whether it was a mentor, a friend, a teacher, or even a stranger, their belief gave you the strength to push past doubts, to pursue goals you once thought were impossible. Empowerment is about providing that same gift to others, offering them the strength to pursue their own dreams, to break down barriers, and to rise up when the world tells them they are not enough. It starts with listening, truly listening, not just hearing words, but understanding struggles, dreams, and the potential that lies hidden beneath the surface. So often, people don't just need solutions, they need someone who believes in them enough to help them find their own answers. Empowerment is not about giving someone what they need, but about helping them discover the resources, the confidence, and the courage to discover it for themselves. When we empower others, we create an environment of trust, where people feel safe to express their ideas, take risks, and be vulnerable. It's in that space of safety that true growth happens, and growth is contagious. When one person is empowered, they light the path for others to follow. A single act of encouragement can spark a chain reaction that transforms entire communities, organizations, and even societies. We all know that life can be difficult. We face setbacks, challenges, and moments of self-doubt. But it's during these times that empowerment is needed the most. It's in these moments of struggle that we must remind one another that we are capable, that we are not alone, and that together we can overcome anything. Empowerment means giving people the tools to succeed, but it also means fostering a mindset that celebrates resilience and persistence. It's about shifting the narrative from I can't to I will, and reminding others that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone toward growth. It's about showing them that setbacks are opportunities for learning, and with every challenge comes a chance to rise even stronger. In our workplaces, our homes, our communities, we need to actively create spaces where empowerment thrives. This is not just about leadership, it's about shared responsibility. It's about collaboration, about lifting each other up without competition, without jealousy, and without fear. We empower others when we show them that success is not a limited resource, but something that can be achieved collectively. When one person rises, we all rise. This is not just about inspiring others with words, but leading by example, showing through our actions that we believe in the power of those around us. It's about creating a culture where people feel valued, where their contributions matter, and where their voices are heard. Empowering others is not just a responsibility, it's a privilege. To see someone transform, to watch them tap into their potential and achieve something they once thought impossible, that is one of the most rewarding experiences we can have. We don't have to be in positions of power to empower others. We can do it in our everyday interactions. A kind word, an open hand, a belief in someone's abilities, it costs us nothing, but to the person on the receiving end, it can mean the world. Every time we choose to empower someone, we are part of a movement that has the power to change the world. Empowerment spreads, it multiplies, and it builds. It's a force that, once unleashed, cannot be contained. So let's make the choice every day to empower others, to believe in them, and to help them see just how far they can go. Rejecting doubt and external validation is one of the most powerful decisions we can make in our lives. It is the moment we choose to silence the voice that tells us we're not enough, the voice that makes us question our worth, our dreams, and our potential. It's about stepping away from the need for constant approval from others and learning to trust ourselves, our instincts, and our abilities. In a world where validation is so often sought through likes, comments, and approval from others, choosing to reject that dependency is an act of true strength and liberation. There will always be voices around us, some filled with encouragement, others with criticism, but we must recognize that the loudest and most important voice is our own. When we rely on others to define who we are or to tell us what we can achieve, we hand over our power and we lose sight of the uniqueness of our journey. We begin to measure our worth based on what others think, which is a dangerous path to walk. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, constantly seeking approval, constantly questioning our decisions and our worth. Imagine if every person who ever achieved greatness had waited for external validation before they took action. What if every inventor, every artist, every leader had allowed the doubters to hold them back? What if every dreamer had waited for permission from the world to pursue their passion? The world would have been deprived of the innovations, the masterpieces, and the leadership that have shaped our history. Greatness is not born from the approval of others, it is born from the belief in oneself and the courage to keep going despite the doubts that may arise. The truth is, we all have the power to create our own path, to define success on our terms, and to trust that our journey is valid, even when others may not understand it. When we stop looking outside ourselves for validation, we stop measuring our progress by external standards, and we begin to create our own metrics for success. We start to appreciate how far we've come, not by comparing ourselves to others, but by recognizing our own growth, resilience, and determination. Every step forward is a victory, and it's one that belongs to us, regardless of whether or not anyone else notices or approves. Doubt is inevitable. It's a natural part of the human experience, and it can even serve as a signal for us to question, reflect, and grow. But doubt doesn't have to be the force that controls us. It doesn't have to be the thing that stops us in our tracks. We must learn to view doubt as a temporary visitor, one that doesn't define who we are or what we can achieve. Instead of allowing it to paralyze us, we can use doubt as fuel to prove to ourselves that we are stronger, more capable, and more determined than we may have realized. The path to greatness is not always clear, and it's certainly not easy. There will be times when we question our choices, our dreams, and whether we're on the right path. But when we reject the need for external validation, we stop seeking constant reassurance from others, and we begin to trust the wisdom within ourselves. We start to realize that the opinions of others are just that, the opinions of others, and they don't have to dictate our reality. Our worth is not tied to anyone else's approval.